You're listening to Top Line Toronto with Nick Lyne, Brady Ricketts, and Jordan Voth.
Welcome back to another episode of Top Line Toronto. I am Brady, joined once again by my better half, my more hairy half for sure, Mr. Jordan Voth. How are we doing this evening, my man?
It's a beautiful evening here in Winnipeg. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. No, I just had a nice day of keeping it kind of quiet. Made some homemade short rib beef ragu for supper. Decided to follow it up with a free advertisement of Dairy Queen. Now I get to sit here in my office and kind of let you yell at me probably for the next little bit. So I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm glad your evening was great. Did you happen to watch the two games that we discussed last week?
I did watch the LA one. Admittedly, the Saturday game I didn't get to watch it live. So I saw the score before I got to watch the next day on one of those daily reruns. But I did get to see a majority of it. Let's jump right into the first one because we only got two games on the schedule this week. A bit
Yep.
of almost like a bye week coming off of last week, which is nice because the Leafs started the season with three games in their first 4 days. So we go from on a Wednesday night, the LA Kings come to town. David Riddick revenge game, Trevor Moore revenge game, and not a lot of revenge was had for them. They got smoked 6-2 by the Leafs.
That team's bad.
Yeah, not very good. Well, tough too. Like they're kind of like weirdly enough, almost like a retool. It feels like still looking for that goalie.
I think
That we
they're
talked about last week too.
I think that's a prime example of why you shouldn't shortcut a rebuild. Look at the LA Kings. Like
Yeah.
basically what's their upside now at this point? Like Byfield and hopefully Turcotte and Brant Clark
Yeah. Well,
become
that
more
that
or
and I mean ultimately we all know they lost that PLD trade from by a mile.
yes.
That's definitely going to handcuff them for a while because I mean they just got rid of Gabe Vilardi, who's a great player, and I mean Alex Iafallo and Rasmus Kupari, take it what it is, but Gabe Vilardi bring a lot more to top six in Winnipeg than PLD ever did. So they
Yeah.
lost that trade big time. But yeah, like that's one. Like I mean, Drew Doughty being out for with a broken ankle start of the season. I mean, he's had a bit of a resurgence the last couple of years. Not like what he was originally, but
Yeah, not
still a
11
very good
million
player.
worth.
No, but still a good player and definitely like a cornerstone in the room, if not on the ice.
Yep.
But yeah, they're in a tough spot right now. But they get blasted 6-2 by Leafs. I think what was it, 4-0 after the first period.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
The best McMahon in the league, or the best Mick in the league, Bobby McMonster with two.
So
I know
he's
you have a lot to say about him.
he's an everyday player, right?
Easily,
Like we're
easily.
not we're not doing this anymore where we take him out of the line. Like he's got to be in the lineup every night. Like this team is so starved for scoring. Like
Yep.
that guy needs to be in the lineup every single night. He looks fantastic. What did you think of your boy Timothy Lilligren? I guess I should say now our boy
Our
because
boy,
my
yeah, you bought stock. You bought it a
I
little bit
bought
low too. So when it starts getting high, I'm gonna hold you to be a firm diamond handser as well. Um, I didn't notice anything too crazy, which I think is good. That's what you want, right? You don't want him to stick out like a sore thumb. Like I thought he made some good plays, and I think he took one penalty,
yep.
which I was not even a bad penalty. It's an aggression penalty, which I think you're kind of fine with. For the most part, he's not taking like a hooking or a trip 200 feet from his own net. So
Yep.
I didn't have too much problem with his game. I was kind of surprised. Honestly, I thought he earned another one. I was kind of surprised going into the next night that Connor Timmins was right back in. Um, even if they want to make him a trade asset, they're gonna have to play him because at this point, if everyone knows that his value is lower with the coach and the management team, you're gonna have to showcase him at some point to show he's actually a player because you're not gonna want to sell him for you're not gonna nickel and dime yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's no market for him right now. Like I don't think there's any return coming back for him that's going to be
Yeah.
enticing or all that earth shattering for them. So yeah, I agree. I thought he looked a little timid out there, and I generally agree with you that I didn't notice him much either. Um, yeah, I don't know if like you're right though. Like I'm still kind of thinking about last week's episode where you said like look how long we've been looking at Timothy Liljegren, and that's how long we've been looking at Pontus Holmberg. Pontus Holmberg's another one who maybe we should talk about because he has not looked good at all.
he had some quotes from Keith Craig Berube. But I will say too, I just looked at the game stats card on Twitter for that night, and like I guess I kind of forgot at that point too. Like when the team goes up 4-0, like half that team's got negative score or game score on it.
Yeah.
But that's because score effects, right? You go up 4 or 5-0. You're not really pushing for offense anymore at that point.
Yeah.
But Tilly Lindgren wasn't in the bottom; like he was firmly in the middle. So it's not like he was sticking out. But yeah, Pontus Holmberg, yeah, Craig Berube kind of been saying that. I think it was really after the Rangers game that they said he needs more from him. It almost seems like he's a step behind, which is kind of fascinating how quick that turnaround comes. Because I mean, Craig Berube is playing him as if he was, like his guy stamped with a trademark. I don't hate that. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of times in the Leafs, like coaching and organization almost felt like nepotism, but they're not really related. Like a coach would have
Right.
a guy and then he'd just ride him until literally the wheels fell off. We kind of saw it with like David Kampf with Sheldon Keefe always playing third line minutes, so he probably didn't deserve him because he's a bit of an offensive black hole. I don't mind the fact that like if because I imagine the way it went is Craig Berube said it and then went back and pulled Holmberg into his office and said, "Hey, I did say this about you. Like, I do need more," which I'm totally okay with. 100%.
Yeah. You're right about the nepotism, except it wasn't nepotism. It was just if you played for the Greyhounds, you'd play for the Leafs.
I mean, true too. True too. Or like a storied franchise and had like a modicum of success. But that means also, I wonder if we do see Max Pacioretty get into the lineup in the next game too, because he's now sat for a healthy scratch for two, with Ryan Reeves, I think, getting in for both the LA Kings game and the New York Rangers game. And then we all thought, well, there was some circus media going on about what was going to happen between Rempe and Revo, and nothing happened. I don't think
Yeah.
yeah, it was stupid. There's a lot of like media members saying like, okay, well, if they're gonna dress them, might as well just start them at the opening face-off and then don't see them the rest of the night, which I don't think is fair to those guys
I don't think
either.
that's fair to Reeves. I haven't paid a lot of attention to Matt Rempe, but Reeves actually has like a really strong he has some very strong underlying numbers. That fourth line is playing really, really well.
Mhm.
And I think for a guy like Ryan Reeves, if he goes out there and he has the puck in the other team's end of the ice most of the time, I think you have to reward that by continuing to play him.
Yeah.
He's been as good as you could possibly expect for him.
Yeah. I just didn't think it was very fair to those guys because, like, at the end of the day, they're professional athletes who really give a shit about what they're doing for their career. Like, to just say
Yeah.
they're just a couple of muscle dummies going to beat the crap at each other, like, I don't really respect that from people who are just writing words about it, to be honest. But anyways, we'll move on from that one. So also in the LA game, yeah, Bobby McMahon gets 2 goals for himself to really get himself going on that front foot again. Austin Matthews gets his first of the year, finally breaks through. Mo Riley gets the dad bump, gets his first one going. Will Nylander has another great game. The PP hits twice too.
Finally.
Finally, yeah. I didn't notice anything too much different besides maybe some better entries that got him a chance to really get set up.
Yeah, it looked they were stronger on the entries, but honestly, like I don't really care. Like they followed it up with some of the worst play I've seen from them all year. I mean, I know it's only 5 games in, but
Yeah, like
um,
I kind of like once they went up 4-5-0, I just kind of didn't really care what happened after, especially if they got 2 goals scored on them. Because at that point, I'm like, okay, well, they're not keeping their foot on the gas for it. Like, not saying that they got complacent, but it's just like the score effects are real. You go up 4-5, not 5-0, you're more or less
yeah,
playing a kill the clock game.
yeah, exactly. And you know to expect that the shots will even out, and maybe
Hmm.
some guys end up with some like kind of unflattering numbers in the wake of that. But
Yeah.
yeah, the LA game. My biggest takeaway from that is how bad LA is, and they're like in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like they need to hope that their young players, one of which Alex Turcotte is kind of questionable. He's it's kind of time to do it or not,
Mhm.
and you're basically hoping that those young guys can take a huge step while Doughty and Kopitar are still relevant, and their
Yeah.
goaltending is a question mark, and they're just I don't know. That's a rough team to look at.
Kopitar, I don't understand how he is so timeless, man. He is so still so good.
Yeah, but time Time is undefeated.
Yeah, well, he's making a strong case. I'm not gonna lie. So
Yeah,
from
he'll try.
So from LA, we get another like 2 days off. Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada game. We have the Rangers coming into Toronto. 2-1 until two empty netters. 4-1 final for the Rangers. Igor Shesterkin with a .971. Leafs get 35 shots on goals, 34 saves from him. Austin Matthews, a lone goal scorer for the Leafs. Alex Lafreniere, Chris Kreider getting the goals. Chris Kreider, another one, the empty netter, so he's got two. I think we have our first beer chug live on pod, which is a fantastic little turn of events for us. Like I said, I got to watch the majority of this game on a rerun, so I kind of already knew what I was going into. I really like in hindsight watching it, I didn't really think the Leafs played a bad game. Like it was I felt they had the majority of the pressure, besides the first period where there's a lapse that really let Lafreniere get his chance and opportunity. But I felt like the rest of the way through, at least we're the more dominant team there. But I know you had more issues, less with the game itself, but more with the comments from the coaching after. He's still chugging the beer.
Do you know how many fucking times we've seen this?
Seen what?
Steve Dangle managed to clip a quote from Sheldon Keefe 3 years ago to the day, of Sheldon Keefe telling the team to make it harder for Igor Shesterkin to see the puck. 3 years ago to the day. That's not the only one, because there was one from, I think, 2019-2020 season where they also got goalied by Alexander Georgiev, which led to speculation later that year at the trade deadline that we were going to trade Kasperi Kapanen for Georgiev.
Remember that one? I remember that one.
And I know you don't remember this one, but there's also a Dave Riddick 40-plus saver in there too, where they goalie the Leafs. The Leafs are amazing at making goalies look better than they are. And I understand that Shesterkin is the best in the business, but I just don't have time for this shit.
I mean, we also live in a market where the other team goalies most other teams too. So it's like,
stop getting goalied. Go to the fucking net.
Every coach on every team has, you can probably find about 5 or 6 of these exact quotes. You outplay a team, you get the majority of the chances, they don't go in, 100% you're going to go to the media and be like, well, clearly we didn't make it hard enough for him.
Yeah, hey.
And how do you make it harder for a goalie? Oh, take his eyes away. Okay. How do you do that? Get to the front of the net. I guess we didn't do enough of that because we didn't win the game.
If the Florida Panthers have a night like this, I wouldn't worry about it. But the Leafs do this all the fucking time.
I'm less worried about it. I really think it's just like a platitude they talk about. Like realistically, like they were a good, it's exactly how I kind of said it was going to go into that week. It's going to be a close game. Okay. It's going to be a good game. And it's going to be a matter of a bounce or two that's going to make the difference. And it was a 2-1 game before the empty net goals. It's exactly what we're looking at.
I guess. Fine. So that's your excuse for that one. They got goalied. Okay, so what do you have to say
let me keep going, because I have some more. Because I remember seeing a thing. Austin Matthews had 9 shots that game. Will Nylander had 8 shots that game, with a couple of breakaways too, if I might not mention it. You give those guys those opportunities again, I bet you that it's maybe a 3-2 game or a tied game going into overtime. It wasn't as big of a discrepancy as I think. Like,
why don't you just say the schedule was tough while you're here?
I might as well. Let me spin the wheel of excuses some more. Usually it's the Bruins logo in the middle, but I can put my face in it. That works for you too.
Okay. All right. So they got goalied. Let's use they win that game 99 times out of 100.
No, they probably won it I don't know what the deserved win meter was, but I have it good 55.
Okay.
Anything else you want to touch on the Rangers one besides those?
No. I want to see what other excuses you have in your bag of excuses. Do you have one for John? Excuses. Do you have one for John Tavares? Is the illness? Is that it?
Yeah, he probably wasn't wearing his amulet.
Right. Yeah. I actually just added one of those to my cart.
Did you? I still don't really know what that's all about. I only saw a couple tweets about it. What is this thing? Do you know anything about it?
Yeah, it's like this little pebble thing that you wear. It protects you from 5G and Wi-Fi.
Ooh, okay. Oh boy.
Someone tried to like quote tweet this thing and like dunk on the Leafs, being like, "Oh, the people who make this thing are like anti-vax and just QAnon people," as if the Leafs are like associated with it. And it's like, buddy, Harold Ballard used to own this team.
Yeah, we had a felon who owned the team for a while.
Yeah, like okay, like I don't know what you think of. Like, you can think John Tavares is a good person or a great hockey player. Whatever, think what you want. But the reality is that every hockey player that you look at has a grade 12 education. Pretty much all of them. Pretty much all of them.
Yeah, well, I think like a lot of those guys, they're almost like, even you hear about how superstitious all these guys are. Like they'll take something that's anecdotal and run with it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah,
right?
look at Sidney Crosby's jock.
8.7. Yeah, well, that too. Like I heard a story that Marty Biron used the same skates for his entire NHL career from the time he was in Bantam. Like these guys are wired differently for a reason. The most competitive people on the planet.
Yeah, that's
So
chaotic.
it is chaotic. It's
So
it's
the
like
excuse
chaotic for sure.
So the excuse for Tavares' illness.
Yeah, I heard he's probably still. Yeah, I don't know. He's probably still fighting the flu, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, and then Pontus Holmberg. Do you have an excuse for him, or is he just?
Grind. Yay. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Coach called you out. See what you do on Monday.
And so,
Like,
what do you make of Nick Robertson donutting over the first 5 games after shooting the lights out in preseason? I remember saying like, "Hey, it's preseason. I don't really care who shoots the lights out in preseason. I want to see it, ideally in April, but I'll settle for like actual hockey games." And here we are. And Nick Robertson, I'll give him credit. He looks like he's putting in every bit of effort he can. I don't think he's shorting you on effort.
And I don't think he's even shorting you on looks too. Just like one of the Rangers one, I think he had an open look that rolled over his stick, which fucking stinks.
Yeah.
So like I think it's coming. Like it's one of those things too. Like in a vacuum, all you can control is how you react to those results, right? So as long as he keeps doing what he's got to do to earn himself minutes, even if it means doing better stuff off puck or just getting himself into those opportunities to make plays, at some point it's going to break through and he's going to get he's going to get some sort of result. All he control is like not like diverging away from those good things that he's been working on and doing so far in the season. That's all I'll say on that one.
I hope it breaks for him. I really do find myself cheering for him, but
yeah,
holy fuck, man. The scoring behind that top line is just, it's not there. They don't have it. Like, I know the first couple games.
Well, it doesn't help
goals.
the top line hasn't really been scoring that much. Like Matthews is low on his point total so far. So is Marner. The only one I really felt like I really loved what I've seen from Matt Nye so far, even his playmaking ability. Yeah, he sprung Domi on that half breakaway that went off the crossbar. Like, I see good things. At some point, it's going to start clicking, and they're going to go on. There, you watch. You're probably going to go on like some random like 10-game run or something along those lines.
I'm at a point with this team where I don't want to squint to see good things. When
I
I watch
squinting though. At least I'm not.
When I watch the Bruins play, I don't have to squint to see good things. They're just good.
Yeah.
The Panthers, they're just good. The Lightning are good. People wrote them off as if they're washed, but like their key players are still their key players. They still play.
They're 3-1-0 right now, and they're actually the Leafs' next matchup.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But like I will say, and that's a prime game too. I don't want you to go on too much of a tangent on that one. I just see that from here.
Oh wait, I have Amazon Prime.
Yeah, me too.
Shout out Jeff Bezos. Thanks for that. I got it. I should be able to get that one.
I will say that like, I know you know this too, that there was times in past years in Leafs fandom that you would watch a game for 10 minutes, if that team was going to win the game or not.
Yeah.
Or you'd watch after like midway through the second beat and just be unbelievably frustrated. I haven't had one of those yet, which is pretty rare. I've in every game so far this year, I've felt engaged enough to watch it through. Besides the Rangers one, because I already knew the score, and I was just kind of watching it so I could have notes on it because I didn't get a chance to watch it live. But when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this team is, for the most part, pushing the pace of play.
I honestly, I watch the games and I just don't even care. I honestly, I'm at a point with this team where,
We're at the level of pure apathy.
yeah, no, I am, because my anger for this
Oh
team was like,
no.
my anger for this team started dying, not last season, but the one before. Last season was the first one where the apathy started setting in, and this one, I just kind of like sit there and I like look at the TV. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, well, the deserve to win meter looks good, and all right, I guess, sure. All the advanced numbers look good. Yeah. Oh, did they win? No. I'll
This
tell
is
you this.
you're just trauma responding right now.
I'll tell you this. This is going to happen. So clip this.
Okay.
Anthony Stolarz and the way he handles the puck behind the net is going to cost the Leafs huge at some point this season. Holy
probably.
mother of God. That
Probably.
guy is so lost back there. He looks fantastic when he's in his crease. That is a bright spot for me. Him, Matthew Nyes, those are bright spots. Those guys are doing things that I didn't expect out of them. Like I
Yes.
knew Stolarz was a capable backup,
Yeah.
but I didn't expect him to come in like this and play this well and look so comfortable. Dennis Hildeby in his one game, that was a nice surprise that he can play in the NHL. Like how many times do we see an Eric Shalgren or whatever go in and just get shelled?
Some random dude.
So
remember Casimir Kaskasuo's first ever game where he got lit up for
yeah,
like 7?
Kasky
we're
Swole. That was
getting
the one that got Babcock fired, I think.
I
Yeah.
think it was too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think
Those
you're
guys-
wrong.
those guys are-
any goalie taking possession of the puck, I really don't care for unless you're ripping it off the glass as hard as you can or leaving it for your defenseman right there. I do not love seeing my goalie making a pass to a moving target.
Watch-
it's never gone great for me. Like you can look at
Watch-
what Connor Hellebuck does, best goalie in the league. That guy should
He's
have a
awful
clause
at
in his
it.
contract that you should not handle pucks.
Yeah, you need to bungee cord him to his crease. He's bad too, but watch him with the puck. Watch him when he comes out to play it. It is scary every single time, and I think it's an American goalie thing.
Oh, I wonder. I didn't even know he's American, to be honest with you.
I think.
But let's move forward to the week ahead, and let's get some breakdowns of what you think is going to happen
Oh God.
for some scores. So starting off, Leafs do have another back-to-back. I don't know what is
Oh
going
no.
on
Oh
with this.
hey, get your excuse out.
You know what? I will maybe dust off the scheduled loss button if it's as bad of a game as it might be.
I don't have any more beer. So that was my last one, and it was a kokanee. It wasn't even good.
It's the king of beers. I don't know what you're talking about. So Monday we have the Lightning. I believe they're actually coming to Toronto, if I'm not wrong. I think it might be the last of the homestand there. So yeah, Lightning are 3-1-0, and Leafs are now 3-2-0. This, like I said, this game's gonna be on Amazon Prime to watch. What are you thinking?
First game on Amazon Prime, an opportunity to lower the record to 500. Let's take the Lightning.
Ooh, okay. Head to head so far, like for goals, Nikita Kucherov was 7 in 4 games so far for the Lightning. That's inhuman. 9 points from through 4 games. This guy, I don't get it. They seem to like just keep taking tools away from him, and he just seems to find a way to just keep putting up points.
Yep. And meanwhile, we're squinting at Austin Matthews' 2 goals and saying he looks good though.
He does look
All
good
right.
though. But
Okay.
actually, weirdly enough, this is where the difference might be, the goalie comparisons. So Andre Vasilevsky so far 3-1-0. He's got a 2.52 goals against and a .901 save percentage compared to Anthony Stolarz, who's 2-2 with a 1.79 and a .937. We are winning the goalie battle in that one, Vother. It is our turn to goalie someone, and that's gonna be Monday night.
Small sample size.
We're gonna see Matt and I continue to be a Leaf or a Lightning killer, 1000%. I've got him.
I'd like
going
to
for-
see that.
I've got him going for 2 points. I got Matthews going for 2 goals, and I've got a 5-2 Leafs win against the Lightning with Nikita Kucherov potting both and taking a 5-minute misconduct.
I'm going to take Max Domi to score a goal. Do you think
Okay.
he's become the team's Mitch Marner? Like the guy won't fucking shoot.
Could be. And when he does shoot, doesn't get count as a shot on goal because off the post.
Like, how many of those guys do you want to collect? Like, you have so many guys who are pass first, I guess, at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
I did see one. There was like a 2-on-1 that he absolutely should have shot that he tried to get over. He almost seemed to be like, I think he got the puck too early where he was like on that weird spot where I know I can shoot, but I know I could probably get a lane. And you end up doing neither and put in defenseman skates. Do it
yeah,
myself all the time at beer league. But I'm not the one getting paid to play. I'm the one paying to play.
the
So
guy passed on a 2-on-0. It did result in a goal, but
yeah,
he did do
that
that.
is true. Eddie Light kicked it too, which was even more psychotic. So you
Okay.
have Lightning winning that game?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then we go Tuesday. Next night, we got Columbus, who at that point, with your, could very well have the exact same record with your, if my back of the napkin math is correct. I'm not gonna
They're
lie.
not.
I do not see this team losing to Columbus. They have no Boone Jenner. We know what happened in the offseason with that roster. But they like I will say the Blue Jackets are working their absolute tails off in games. Like they're playing to every whistle, to every second, to every minute. Like it's pretty impressive to watch. But on paper, even on the second half of back to back, this team's got no excuse to lose that game. And I'm gonna have it like so. Another 5-2 win by your Toronto Maple Leafs with Dennis Hildebeest in the net.
If they lose that game, I don't have to come on this podcast that week, right?
That's fair. I mean, holy
Like,
cow.
I'm taking a week. Like, I'm taking my Sunday off if they
It's
lose
fine.
that.
I could be here right now talking to myself.
If I
Me and my Mark, my Rothko.
if I have to sit here and talk about that, if they lose that game, like, can we
Yeah.
just cancel this show? Because
Depends if they lose to an e-bug. If it's an e-bug, I think we have to. I think we have to just come on here. That's
don't tempt fate. They can do it.
we've seen it before.
I'm gonna say the Leafs win that one. They come
Yeah.
on.
The only
If
thing
they lose that game, I'm gonna be in a mood when I come
Yeah.
on this show.
Only thing I can think of is if it's like a really stupid travel situation where they get in, like I don't even know. I'm like realistically, even that they know it. Like they do this enough. I think there's no excuse to lose that Columbus team with the roster. That is what it is.
I don't care if they have to walk from Toronto to Columbus with their fucking hockey bags. You do not lose this game.
Yeah, I agree. And then after that, one day off, and then they are, I think, in St. Louis taking on the Blues. Before 2
They'll
and
lose.
0
They'll lose
St.
that.
Louis Blues.
They'll lose that.
Think so?
No. What I learned from last week saying they'll go 0-2 is that's too optimistic because I'd love for them to come up shorter for Porter or Doggan for Hagen. I'd love them to be in that situation, but that's too good. They're going to be mid. They'll beat the Blues. They're going to lose to Tampa. They'll beat Columbus and St. Louis. Two in 1 week.
That's 2-1, and then I think we will have a Saturday game too. We got the Boston Bruins.
Oh, they're losing that.
Good
night.
That's a busy week. Holy cow! 4
Oh,
games
here
in
comes-
6 days.
Is that the schedule excuse I hear?
No, but I'm shocked.
That's the
Is there
like the schedule
They
excuse.
don't have there's no international games or anything like that after this, is there? I guess there's the four nations thing, so they probably do have to go a little bit front heavy on the schedule, I suppose. That makes sense actually.
I don't care what the schedule is, just win.
Yeah. No, it's just confusing because
yeah.
like a lot of these teams are really busy to start off the season.
So wait, they have Tampa on Monday, Columbus
Yeah.
on Wednesday,
No,
and then they have
Tampa Monday, Columbus Tuesday,
Yeah.
St. Louis Thursday, and Buffalo or Boston Saturday.
oh god.
Yeah, that's strange.
Imagine they go 0-4. They could have excuses for all of them. Like they
Yeah.
could lose. They could lose to Tampa because they're a better team. They could lose to Columbus because it's a back-to-back,
Yeah.
and then Boston's a better team.
Or they go 4-0 and make you eat a pound of shit.
I'd love it. They won't though. They won't do it. They won't do it.
I'm gonna go
Even-
three.
even-
I'm gonna go 3-1. I'm not that convinced about that Boston roster right now. I'm not they're 3-2-1 right now. That's a 300 team. I sent a roster makeup of it to Nick a couple days ago, and I think Marchand was out of it. But even if he's in it, it's really a top line, and then the rest of it, I was like, I'm not really like, am I crazy or is this not that great?
Yeah, no, you're right that like against 31 teams, it's kind of mid. But if they play the Leafs, Justin Brazo's getting a hat trick.
Yeah, okay. But I'm gonna say I'm gonna put him at 3-1. I have to be the optimist here. I have to have a little ray of sunshine.
So there's 3 games. There's Tampa, Columbus, Boston, St. Louis, and Boston.
Four games.
I'm gonna say 2-2. That's
Okay.
that's the level. They'll beat. God, they have to beat Columbus. They'll beat St. Louis and
If they could beat
Columbus, I
New
guess.
Jersey on the second half of back-to-back, they can absolutely beat Columbus on the second half of back-to-back. And I expect it absolutely.
They should.
They should.
Like I don't care. I don't care if they beat Tampa, lose to Columbus, beat St. Louis, and beat Boston. We're gonna come here next Sunday and we're gonna talk about them losing to Columbus.
Yeah,
I wanna
probably.
know.
I mean, that'd be the week that was, but I think that'd probably be the one that has. I could imagine the storylines being just psychotic on that one. Well, I mean, they won't write the headlines at the end of the week. They'll write it like after that Columbus game. But like
Yeah.
the sound bites that would come off of Columbus loss would probably be pretty good. Be
Yeah.
pretty top tier. Okay, I think that's about it for us. Anything else you want to air out? Any more grievances?
What do you think about Ekman Larson on the power play?
I don't hate it.
Yeah,
I
I like it.
I'm not gonna lie. When that OEL signing first happened, I didn't really see the value of it. But now, like, I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's been like a superstar by any stretch of means, but he's just been, better than a guy.
Yeah, for the time being, I'm a little ready to eat my words on him. He's looked okay. He's looked quite
Yep.
good. Do we have any update on Tanev? Do we know if he's going to be out for an extent? He left the game on Saturday.
As far as I know, he was back. He finished the game,
Oh,
so he
okay.
was fine. It was just a shot block stinger, so I imagine just ice it and see if it turns into something worse over the next couple of days. But as of today, I have not seen anything further on that, and that would be something we might see tomorrow, if whether he's taking warm up or not, or is part of the morning skate.
Right.
We'll probably get a better heads up on that one tomorrow.
Alrighty. Then that's all I have. I
Yep.
guess next week's episode will largely hinge on how Tuesday's game against Columbus goes.
Who would have thought like the sixth game of the season could be the do or die for us?
Oh, I'm sure they'll have an excuse.
And if they don't, I will. Thanks again
I
so
know.
much for watching, tuning in. Looking forward to bringing it back to you right again next week. Maybe with me, maybe without Jordan Voth. We'll see you. That's like you said, how that Tuesday Columbus games go.
This has been a
Take
Top
care,
Line Media
Brady. Thank you for
production.
everything.
Thank you.